everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Tomcat Stitchery. I'm Whitney, and today I kind of have a smattering of mismatch video for you. I had just a couple of things I wanted to talk about, and then something that was just literally placed on my heart by the Lord just earlier this week, and we'll get into that at the very end of the video. But first of all, I wanted to share with you my newest dress. This is my Samantha dress by Athena Kaku Patterns. She is having a sale. This is her pattern of the month this month, and she's having a sale over on her site. It's 20% off for the month of April. So I will leave that information, the link down below for that. And I also have something else to say about her site, but hold on. So let's just talk about this dress really quick. So this is the Samantha dress, and I purchased this pattern. I was asked to review the pattern and was offered to be given the pattern for that review, but I actually already own the pattern. I bought it back Black Friday sales, I believe, around Christmas time, so I just hadn't had a chance to sew it up yet. So I made mine as a perfect excuse. This wrap dress goes perfectly with my inverted triangle frame, you know, having the wrap top with the, although I'm kind of exposing myself at the moment, having the wrap top with the V neckline, bringing things in towards my face. This dress actually has a grown-on sleeve, and so I don't have to worry about any narrow shoulder adjustments, which is really nice. I made the short sleeve version, so I kind of did a mismatch of view 1 and view 2, because I put the collar on, but I chose the shorter skirt length. And I was going to do the 3/4 length. She has a regular 3/4 length sleeve, and then also has an option for this cute tie detail. But I honestly only had enough fabric to do the short sleeve version. Because of the grown-on sleeve, it makes the bodice pattern pieces very wide because the sleeve goes out, the side. And this fabric, I made this out of a ponte that I got from Smuggler's Daughter, and I actually bought it, it was one of the end cuts that she had. So she no longer has this particular fabric, but I will link, there is a bright blue ponte on her site that I'm going to link down below. If you're interested. I mean, it's a wonderful color. So so I had bought just what she had on that end cut when I purchased a whole bunch of fabric back in February, and you guys saw this fabric was in that fabric haul video. But anyway, I'm so glad that I used it for this dress. It is just such a fun, summery, springy dress. Again, I did the shorter length, and I really am enjoying that. I'm going to show twirls of me as outside, new location. It's starting to warm up just enough that I can actually go outside and take pictures and do a little bit of twirls and filming on our back patio. But anyway, like I said, I did a mismatch of view 1 and 2 because I did want the collar. I think that's such a cute detail. Although I like the version without the collar too, and I'm definitely probably going to make one of those because I would really like a 3/4 length sleeved version of this dress. And I'll probably play around with the longer skirt length too because that's fun. But I did take 2 inches out of the hem of the skirt pattern. I'm 5'2", so I a lot of times have to take, and actually that's not a lot. A lot of times I'll have to take more than 2 inches out, but I took 2 inches out, and that's all I got away with. Let's see what else. I think that's the only alteration I did to the pattern. Now, I made a size 14 because my measurements fit into a size 14, and I didn't even do a full bust adjustment. But this came up a little big, and she even says in the instructions, it talks about 30 to 50% stretch for your knit, so you don't need anything real stretchy. And this ponte has a little bit more than 50% stretch, and I don't know. Well, I'll get into a reason. I made this dress just this week. I made it after spring break. We've been on spring break all last week, and my head just wasn't in a great place. But anyway, I wasn't thinking, and she even says to look at the finished measurements to pick your size because depending on the stretch of your knit, you may want to go up or down in the sizing. And I totally should have gone down a size because I ended up taking like 3 inches out of the bodice, and I think it was just because of my fabric stretch once the dress was constructed. So, because my bust darts were even pretty far out once the wrap was. But anyway, I love the dress now that it's done. Like I said, I'll probably size down next time I make it, or at least take into consideration. Because when I was looking at the finished measurements, I'm like, oh yeah, I need a little ease for my bust. No, with the knit pattern you don't, actually, Whitney. So anyway, I just wasn't thinking properly when I was picking my size out. But anyway, it is I love Athena's patterns. They're so great for beginners because her instructions are very, very clear. And she has some really great styles without it being overly complicated. So again, I am over the moon with this dress. It's just such a cute, fun summer staple. I kind of want one in a fun print. And I have quite a few knits since I've organized my fabric, Marie Kondo style. Kind of brought back up to my attention a little bit. I actually have a floral knit that I'm staring at right now that is drapier and stretchier probably than what she recommends. It's thinner than the Ponte, but I think that if I size down, I will be fine. And I have a lot of it, so anyway. So yeah, there are definitely going to be more of these in my future. It's just a fun dress, and I love a little, it's a faux wrap style, and it's just, yeah, just a really cute dress. So again, you can get this pattern for 20% off this month, and I will link that down below. Which brings me to point number 2. Yesterday, there's 3 ladies that do the Sew Together for Summer Challenge on Instagram. And I'm not going to be able to remember who those 3 ladies are. One is Sewing in Spain, one is Sew Sarah Smith, and the other one, I can't think off the top of my head, but I'll link all that down below. But anyway, it's a challenge that they do every spring, and they pick a different type of outfit every year. So the first year I think was shirt dresses. I may be getting these backwards. 1 year was shirt dresses, 1 year was wrap dresses. This is the 3rd year, and this year they're doing jumpsuits, which include jumpsuits, rompers, and overalls or bibs, or that kind of things, dungarees, whatever you want to call them. Which is so exciting. So with Athena, she has 2 jumpsuit patterns. She has the Rachel jumpsuit and the Abby jumpsuit, and those 2 patterns are on sale also for 15%, just 15% off through the month of April. So if you're interested in any of those, then definitely. And again, I'll put the hashtag down there that you could follow. I'm going to be doing it. I've got my Sierra jumpsuit that's cut out that is one of my seasonal sew 3 for the next 3 months that I'll definitely be making. And probably a few more. I love a good jumpsuit. Maybe even like a shorts jumpsuit. But anyway, I digress. I haven't really decided yet. But that is definitely a fun challenge that they just announced it yesterday. I reposted it on my Instagram, so if you don't follow me over there, you should. And all of that is in my description box always, my Instagram handle and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, that's the second thing I wanted to talk about. The third thing I wanted to talk about was Me Made May is coming up. So we're kind of in the beginning-ish of April. And every May, and again, I'll put details to the blog, Sozo has done this challenge, I don't even know how many years, quite a few years. You all are probably very familiar with it, but Me Made May is basically a challenge, and it can be whatever you want, but it's encouraging the sewing community to wear Me Made in some form or fashion, again, whatever your season is of where you are with your sewing or where you want to push yourself with your sewing. To do it all in the course of May, and people share their outfit pictures and everything else throughout the entire month of May. It's just a lot of fun just to follow along with everyone. It brightens up my Instagram feed a lot. I really love Me Made May because I follow mostly seamstresses, sewers, whatever you want to call. So it just really brightens up your feed in May, and it's just also I've found a wonderful way to pair a lot of your Me Mades, just to kind of see what you are in need of in your wardrobe, because that's kind of the transition time there in May going into summer. But anyway, for this year, I wear almost 100% Me Made. Not quite. I do have some ready-to-wear items that are still in my closet, things that I just really, really love and won't get rid of unless they start falling apart. But most, I would say about probably 85 to 90% of my closet is probably Me Made. So for this year, I am doing the module, and I'll put a link up to that video. I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit in a second. But the modules right now. So I'll talk about it now. I have made 3 pieces of those 6. I have 2 cut out, and then the 6th one they're cut out and like ready to go. And then the 6th one is the pants sew along. That's what one for my next sew along is, the trousers. So I just am waiting to have some time to be able to film that entire process for that sew along. This sew along is not going to be nearly as intensive as the blazer one, mostly because the pattern's not as intensive. And I will cover some basic like fitting, mostly because the pattern is just like phenomenal for that. But that will be the next sew along, and I will be filming it here shortly. And someone also asked for a sew along for the McCall 7357, I think, the blouse that I'm doing in the white with the iCat. It has an interesting placket neckline, And I think that's what she was going to make it as well, having issues with. And so I was going to do just a really quick kind of a sew with me type video where I'll kind of go over, because again, it's an easy blouse. It's not complicated, but just maybe that more of that placket area, but just kind of sewing along with me on that one. So you'll have that to look forward to as well. And with the trousers sew along, I'm pulling out a fly front tutorial on how to do that on a pair of pants or trousers, jeans, whatever, that I'll pull out of that for just a separate tutorial. So that you all have to look forward to. So make sure you hit subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of that. But that being said, I am hopeful to finish this capsule. Again, the pants are going to be the last thing, only because the sew along, it just takes me a lot longer to sew when I'm filming as I'm going. But that should be done next week, and then I want to do a second module that goes on to that. So I will have, at the end of April, hopefully, 2 toppers, cardigan, jacket, whatever, 4 bottoms, and then 6 tops. So that is 12 pieces of clothing. And then I'm going to throw in this dress, because this dress goes, and maybe a jumpsuit. We will see. But I want to take May. So with just those 12 pieces, I should be able to do 72 outfits if my math is correct, and I'm pretty sure that's right. Obviously, May does not have 72 days. So I am going to take the month of May in the whole Me Made May, and it is going to be me wearing those 2 modules as like a capsule. So I'm just going to be pairing different outfits every day. And I think throughout the month, I'm just going to do like a weekly roundup. So I'll probably be posting on Instagram every day, but on the channel, I may do like a little weekly roundup of me in each of the outfits. So you can kind of see the capsule in true form. So anyway, so that's kind of something I guess to look forward to too if you get into that styling and that kind of thing, and how to wear your Me Mades. So that is Me Made May. And I think that's all the housekeeping that I have for now. There was some interest for the sew along with the Designer Vogue dress, and I may still do that. I may film that as I'm making it. Again, I have 3 months to make that dress, but I may film that process too, and then that may be a sew along that goes up at the end of the summer or something. Because some people were asking about that, and yeah, might as well just film it while I'm making it, and I can put that up later in the summer. So that is everything. Okay, now I want to get a little bit serious. So I want to talk about mental health, and I know that that's something that we've talked about in the sewing community many times. They had the whole Smiley campaign, which is the Sewing Makes You Love Yourself, which was talking about body image, sewing with body image, and also sewing to help your mental health. And I am such a proponent on that. Anyway, that's been going around for a while. This week, I was back home by myself. I took the kids by myself because my husband couldn't get away for work, and went back home to Missouri to see family, to hang out with my both sides of the family, really. Anyway, it's a long drive by myself. I had both kids by myself. I was a single parent all week, and bless you, all you single parents out there. And my kids are older. They're 12. It's not like I have toddlers anymore that I'm traveling, which I did do. When they were 4, I was traveling back and forth by myself, all 500 miles with the dog. So they're so much easier now. But okay, so that's kind of where my life was, just fun. I mean, we got to see family, and we went for what we went for, and it was a fantastic time. But I struggle both with anxiety, and actually for a few years, really, really bad anxiety, panic attacks and that kind of thing, which also most times comes hand in hand with depression. And that is just something that I've struggled with. Anxiety probably my entire life, and depression really heavy, like just really more than just being blue since I've had my kids. I struggled with postpartum when I had my kids, and ever since then it's just been, I'll get into some really, really low valleys. Anyway, flash forward to now we're back from spring break, and Sean on Kittenish Behavior was talking about, I follow her YouTube channel. She's fantastic. I'll link her down below if you don't already follow her. She's one of the big ones. But she was talking about, she was on some pain medication for some jaw stuff that she's got going on. And she was talking about, she's had adverse effects to that drug. And so, she's off of it now and everything, but was talking a little bit about depression and sewing and creativity and how that kind of all goes hand in hand. And it really, at that point, I didn't know what I was going to do with my video on Friday. I had made this dress, but I came home from spring break completely and totally drained. And I was in a dark, low place on, let's see, we came back on Thursday. So really all weekend, I was just really low. And just having a hard time getting like not even just my mojo back or whatever, but just really just doing anything. Like making dinner for my family was kind of a chore. You know, it was a real hard thing to do. And I am not a doctor and I am not a trained therapist or a counselor, but I am a big proponent of talk to somebody. I mean, it's great to have a good friend, someone that you can confide in to talk about those things, and I think that is very important. But having a trained professional, especially talk therapy, I am not a huge proponent of depression and anxiety drugs unless it is a severe case, because I definitely think there's severe cases where that is necessary. But I'm also not of the camp that you should, that a pill fixes everything. I have gone through great strengths of changing up some supplements that I take, of changing my diet around, of, again, talk therapy, meeting with a trained therapist / counselor, whatever you want to call. So I definitely would recommend that hands down. And that is something that I've done in the past and that I have to go back to every now and again. But because of that, I have tools in my tool belt that when I get into these low places, I know what I need to do to help pull me back out. And I have some great friends too that I can talk to about this kind of thing. So if any of you are struggling with anything like that, number one, seek some medical help, and not just necessarily a medical doctor. Well, I guess psychiatrists, therapists, counselors are medical doctors, but I would seek out help from someone like that, someone that is trained in that kind of thing, because they'll be able to give you tools to help you. Okay, going forward, the Lord just really put on my heart when I was struggling with this, didn't know what to talk about today really, and then Sean had talked about that on her channel, and I'm like, you know what, this is something that I want to talk about, and I'm actually going to turn the comments off on this video. I love us having dialogue and on this channel, and I love the freedom of speech, but this I feel like is a subject that people have triggers when it comes to depression and anxiety, and I think that I don't want anyone inadvertently saying something that could trigger someone else, if that makes sense. I want my page and my channel to be a very safe place. And so just for this topic today, I think I'm just going to turn the comments off. But I highly encourage, if anyone wants to talk to me or has anything they want to say, that yes, my email is on my About page. Feel free to contact me. I love talking to you guys. But I'm just going to turn the comments off for this video if I can figure it out. That's a caveat there. Just because I don't want anything that is said or discussed on this topic to be a trigger for anyone else. Because again, I want this to be a safe place. But yeah, the Lord just really put it on my heart that this was something that I needed to talk about today. And mostly just about my own experience with mental health and sewing and how that's helped me. Just if anyone out there is struggling. One thing that Sean did say on her channel was she was talking about how she realized that she leads a charmed life and that she's very lucky to be able to do what she loves for a living, and was kind of talking about that, and that kind of struck a little bit at the heart of things. Again, I have a very strong faith, and I think that with my depression, it definitely, while it's not fun to be going through when you are in the low valleys, one of the little blessings that are there is that it does pull me closer with my walk with the Lord, and that is something that I embrace fully in that moment when I am feeling super, super low to the point where I can, where you would just have a hard time doing just your everyday chores and activities and stuff. So, which is true depression. That's more than just being sad. But I just want, there are so many people in this world that are going through horrendous tragedy that I can't even comprehend, that are going through health issues that I can't even wrap my head around, that have losses that I can't even go there. And I am sure that depression and grief follow all of those scenarios. But I also want to say to the people that aren't going maybe through things where you think, well, my life is pretty great. You know, I have food on the table. I have disposable income. I'm able to, you know, do the things that I want to do. I have a job that I love. I have a loving family. You know, everyone's healthy. And then just to feel that you aren't entitled to have to be depressed, because being depressed is not about being ungrateful for what you have. And that was a realization that I kind of had to come to, that it's okay to go through depression. It is okay to be depressed. And that's not, you know, kicking in the face all of these blessings that you have been given. In fact, depression typically does very little to do with being ungrateful or whatever. A lot of times it is chemical, or it is, you know, an anxiety. You know, we live in a very fast-paced world, which is why I highly recommend trained therapists and counselors, because they will be able to give you tools to be able to combat all of that. And, you know, things like I am an outgoing introvert, so I have to have, and this is stuff I've learned from my therapist, I have to have downtime. I recharge by being by myself. And when I'm in situations like when I take the kids back to Missouri and I'm single parenting all week long, for the most part. I mean, I have help from my family when I'm there, but I also slept with one of my kids the whole week just because of you know, bed situation and that kind of thing. And that child is struggling with some anxiety, which kills me as a parent. So I was having to be emotional support for that child. I don't get any downtime when I'm back there, because I'm there to spend time with family, and that is absolutely okay. But I know that all of those factors can go together to really drain me, and that can cause anxiety, which it did. I had a few nights of not sleeping because of panic attacks and anxiety attacks, which I hadn't had in months and months and months. But then you throw in lack of sleep there, and that really is not good for the disposition. So I saw all the triggers, and I know all the triggers, and so I know what to do about that now, which is, for me, having some downtime, and I was able to get some downtime, and not even just downtime, just alone time, you know, time in my sewing room. Again, I have some really good friends that I can talk to when I need to about things like that. But just getting back into the creative. And yesterday was probably the first day I got tons of stuff. I got some stuff sewn, got tons of stuff cut out, and I feel like I'm back to normal. So, you know, it's taken a week for me to get back to, since I got home, getting back to normal. Normal, whatever that means. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that, about, again, I've said it before that I think that we are all creative beings, and however you express that creativity can be in a myriad of ways, you know, baking, cooking, writing, singing, music, creating physically, art, sewing, knitting, whatever it is. I feel like we all have that innate ability to be creative in one way or another. And I think that that is a fantastic tool to use in those times. So that's kind of just what I wanted to talk about a little bit. And again, I'm going to turn the comments off just because I don't want to be a trigger to anyone. But I just also want to remind you guys that in this day and age that we are living, how important it is to just be kind. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are different than you, that that don't have the same beliefs as you do, or lifestyle or whatever. And this just kind of a reminder that we never know what people are going through behind closed doors. And, you know, just be kind. Like, it's not hard. It's not hard. And I have found, you know, aside from spreading kindness to others and, you know, the whole pay it forward thing, I find that when I am going out of my way to be kind and to make sure I'm making a conscious effort to be kind, that improves me. You know, I definitely get kickback on that. And it just makes me feel better, makes people around you feel better. It's just in this world of negativity, just a reminder to be kind to one another. Because again, no one knows what someone else might be going through. So yeah, just wanted to spread the love a little bit and to let you all know, again, if you ever, you know, I have people that send me emails and private messages all the time. And so yeah, feel free to do that. But I love you guys, and thank you for making this channel what it is. And I promise on Tuesday we will have more sewing related content. Again, I'm feeling much better, so I'm really hopeful that I will have, you'll actually probably see the capsule, including the pants, before you see the pants sew along. just because I want to get these next 2 modules completely finished before the end of the month, so we can hit Me Made May. But probably, depending on how the days fall, I need to look at the calendar again, but probably the pants sew along. I think I'm just going to do a 2-day, like a Tuesday, Wednesday for the pants sew along, and then it'll be done. I'm not going to drag it out like I did the blazer one, because I think I can get everything done in 2 days with the pants anyway. So, anyway. And then there'll be a separate one tutorial for the zipper, the fly front zipper. So that'll be a little separate. But anyway, that's all I have for today, guys. And again, hit that subscribe button if you're interested in creativity and capsule wardrobes and sewing and all that good stuff. And we will be back to our regular sewing intensive subject matter on Tuesday. Hope you guys have a wonderful, blessed weekend, and I will see you next time. Bye.